Hello and welcome to another episode of Swim Sets by the Pool. This is the podcast where you get free swim workouts and tips on how to swim better. I'm a professional triathlete. I love swimming. My name is Nathan Cohen, and with me is someone who also loves swimming, and that is Greg Harper. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Nate, and we are back again, always just helping people with the nuggets of wisdom about swimming. Why should you listen to us? Well, we both come from different backgrounds. I've been a lifelong swimmer my entire life and been a student of the sport forever. I've been a lifetime coach, raced Michael Phelps, and Nate started swimming in community college. So together we can make, we make the perfect team. And I have my own biases, Nate has his, but hopefully they cancel it out, so we're a perfect team.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got it now. The set we have today is from Nate himself.
It is from me.
It looks inspired from some of the things we talk about, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nate can write a good set, but the quick tip of the week is hire me as your swim coach if you want to get better. That's the quick tip of the week. And also, the other quick tip is get yourself a pair of Blue 70 goggles with the code Harper25. You'll get some great goggles. All right. So those are the two quick tips. You want to take your swimming to the next level, you got to do those next two things.
Nice. And we'll put the links. We'll put the links to Greg's code in the description. And also, while you're checking out that description, we have a Patreon. We have a couple awesome people supporting us on there. You get some cool perks, episodes in advance. You get to ask us questions. We're probably going to drop some bonus content too. So yeah, check out Greg's code.
Yeah,
and
we'll grow it. We'll grow it with you guys. So if you go in there and you subscribe, just tell us some things that you want to hear or you want to work out targeting this, and we'll be happy to share our wisdom with you.
Yeah, for sure.
So Nate, take us through, I don't know, the warm up or when you use this set and kind of what the idea behind it was for.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of Ironman sets, 70.3 sets, and that's cool. I mean, if you're into that, I guess, but I'm into sprint tries. Sprint triathlon is where it's at. Draft legal, it's the pinnacle of the sport, to be honest. So I'm just going to say this is a set that I did yesterday because I've got a sprint triathlon draft legal race in Mexico coming up. And you got to swim fast if you're swimming 750 meters. You got to swim hard. So this is a set that I wrote for that. And yeah, it's 5.2K, which sounds like a lot. But I mean, at the pro level, I feel like you got to be swimming like 20 to 25K. Like a lot of short course people, that's just like standard. That's kind of like, I call it the price of admission to short course racing is like 20 to 25K a week. So yeah, and that's where a lot of my sets sit. But yeah, the warm up 5x200. This is like a classic warm up I kind of do a lot. It's swim, stroke. I usually do a combination of backstroke and breaststroke, and then kick a 200, drill, so 25 drill, 25 swim, and then I did a pull but no paddles. Shout out Mark Doobie. We'll pull no paddles in the warm up. So yeah,
the Doobs. Yeah, that's good. So that's a quick grand, and you're mixing it up. And for the kicks too, you don't always have to kick with the board. You can change it up, do some side kick, do some kick on your back. Try to utilize that posterior chain a little bit more. And then he'll go into 6-200s pull, descend 1 to 3, 4 to 6. So kind of a continuation of warm up, I guess. Yeah. And with paddles, I'm assuming.
Yeah, with paddles. Yeah. And I've started just like at a smooth effort, and I kind of descended down to like 80% on the first round and then like 85 on the second round. So by the sixth one, I was doing like, I don't know, 105 per 100 pace. And yeah, that's just to get warm. I realize for me, it kind of takes me a little while to warm up some days. I usually swim first in the morning, so it's like my first activity of the day. So yeah, I like doing a little bit longer of a warm up, especially if I'm trying to swim kind of fast during the main set. I like a nice longer warm up. I got that tip from my friend Kyle's swim coach. He's a former D1 swimmer. When they had hard sets, his coach always had him warm up for like a decent amount of time. Their warm ups in like college swimming is like a main set for most triathletes. But Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially on these big squads or college or you even club, it's like you're
Yeah.
doing 2 or 3K and it's not all just warm up. Like there are some sets in there, but like before you get into like the main work and
Hmm.
then you do the main set and all of a sudden you're at 5 or 6K. And then, that's how these people back up 30, 40, 50K weeks. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, there's might be a little fluff sometimes, but they're in the water for a long time and that's important for progressing. And I like the whole descend to 80% and then maybe like descend to 85. I'll do that with athletes I coach a lot too because it just helps them work into it. There's no like specific time goal, like, oh, 80%. Okay, cool. That's like strong. And then by the next time they'll be a little bit stronger. And then by the time they get to the main set, they're kind of ready for it. I mean, the next set says preset. I mean, Nate wrote this. It's like the 6200s is kind of a preset too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
it should like that should said pre in front of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
there's a
Preset number
pre and a
two.
pre. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I like it. It's the same idea. It's like 4100s descend 1 to 4 to 85%, 450s descend to 90%, and then 425s easy, and then from blocks fast. Okay, so he gets to 90% on the 50s, and then he goes to the 25s and basically rips it. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to establish like a stroke rate and an effort that's harder and faster than your main set before the
Hmm.
main set. Right. So if you just swim at 80%, you're like, okay, I'm warmed up, but you are trying to go 90% in your main set. Like we want to bring it back down. So it's like the main set he was going steady on, but he already had gone really fast. So maybe
Hmm.
that steady seems just a little bit more manageable when he gets there.
Yeah,
And I
for
think that's
sure.
a strategic by Nate. So good work, Coach
Yeah,
Nate.
yeah. And my whole thought process with that preset was I kind of had a feeling with where I've been swimming, I was going to target like 29 to 30 seconds for those 50s. And I wanted to, in those descending 50s, hit a faster pace than that and just like kind of check in with where I was at that day. So actually, by the second 50 descending, I was already at 30 seconds. And then I went like 29 on the third one. And then I went like 27 or whatever on the fourth one. So I was like, okay, that's what like 27 feels like today. So I know in the set I'm going to dial it back a little bit. And I did those on the 45, so actually a little more rest than the main set. Um just cuz yeah, I just wanted to feel it out and see how it went. So yeah.
Well, that's if you're going to descend to something fast, like you always want to take some rest. I mean,
Mhm.
the focus is on the fast, but yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you do a set like that and you put yourself in a position to swim faster than you are in the main set, and you're like, wow, I feel super good. Well, maybe it's a day for the main set where you really get after it. And if you don't
Mhm.
feel so good, it's like, okay, this is going to be a lesson in mental resiliency. I'm going to go to this main set. I'm going to just do the best I can, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to chase these some time that I have because you can't set your records every day in training.
Yeah.
Now, every few months, hopefully you're kind of keep raising the bar, and that's what progression is about. But yeah, it's like a check in with yourself. You know where you're at for the day. Set your standards based on that, and maybe by the end of the main set, you'll be even more warmed up, and you'll be ready to go, and you can go faster and exceed your expectations. So it's all these little games swimmers play with their mind and stuff just to get through the work. And yeah, I think that's a smart way to approach it.
Yeah. And then those 25s from a blocks diving, I mean, I'm probably only doing like 10 strokes or less for those. And yeah, we're going like 11 seconds or whatever. And yeah, it's
Probably
just
not, but yeah, whatever.
okay, maybe 12 seconds. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was just like just to swim a little fast, like a couple strokes fast. And yeah, exactly like Greg was saying. Um, yeah, speed is efficiency. So when you hit that high end for a longer set, like the main set was 2K, um, I'm obviously going to swim slower for a 2K main set than a 25 fast. So it's just hitting those different paces. And it's kind of like strides on the run. You do an easy run, you throw in a couple strides somewhere in there. Um, the point of the run isn't to hit your max speed, but you throw in sprinkle a little speed in there, and it's good for your probably
yeah,
neuromuscular and stuff.
and get your stroke rate and the pool or your leg turnover, and running and all that stuff is super important. People do like high cadence to warm up on cycling too, if you like doing that. Just something that's a little bit higher intensity or a little bit over what you're gonna do. So it's almost can be more mental. Like physically, do you need that to perform? It's like maybe not. but your mind is like, oh, I've already been faster than this today. This pace seems manageable. So,
Mm-hmm.
Nate, he has the main set's 2050s and then 10 ones. And the 2050s on 40, he says hold 29 to 30 smooth. So this
Mm-hmm.
is like kind of a steady effort. And 2050s on the 40, I've done this a lot, even up to 30 or even 40 50s, because I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a super great set. A lot of the times I'll even go like 30, 31 even, and it's like an aerobic day.
Yeah.
Um, but just that quick reset of the stroke, like you can get super fit doing a set like this. And, maybe you want to target in that 7 to 8 seconds rest, so
Mm-hmm.
if maybe Nate, it's like Nate's feeling good. Maybe he'll do 29s on the 35. I mean,
Yeah. I
that's a
actually
little bit
thought about
tougher.
that. I was like, maybe. I hate
You
doing
could
intervals
alternate
with like a
too.
5 at the end. Like mentally, it's
You could
so
go
hard for me to do the
40.
math.
Yeah, I know. You could go like 40, then 35, then 40, then 35.
Yeah.
But I like this set a lot, and I used it a lot in the last few years just because, especially in those aerobic days, sometimes it's like I'll just do 30 50s on the 40. And I know that every 10 minutes on the clock is 750. So I'm like
Mm-hmm.
and like you can figure out where you're at too. So you can kind of space out. You didn't know exactly what you're on, but you can use the clock to know how far you've gone. And like it's that quick reset of the stroke it's so important because if Nate goes 30 in all of these, and he probably can swim those like smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be easy, but it's not
Yeah.
deathly hard. But if he's going to go do 5 200s at 2 minute, that's
That would be
freaking
hard.
hard. Okay, so right, so these are different. But in the end, guess what? He just accumulated 1,000 yards at 1 minute flat pace in both sets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're looking to kill yourself, go for the 200s and 300s. But if you just want to accumulate some efficiency here, this set is a perfect way to do that. So, yeah, love 2050s on 40, a
Yeah.
favorite of mine. Sure.
And then the next part of the set, to be honest, I was just trying to like grab a little bit of distance. So I threw in 10 ones and
At least you're honest.
yeah. We all do that, the coaches in the world, you always got to grab some distance every once in a while. But yeah, so we did these actually on the 130, so a lot of rest. And the 4 were just like kind of just easy, like a little bit easier effort than the 50s. Um, and we were doing like 103s for those. And then the fast ones, we did them from a dive, like no extra rest. It was literally like you jump out of the pool, you hop on the block, you like look at the clock and then go. And we hit like 57s for those. And those are actually pretty hard. Like I was, when I started like that first 25, I was like, oh shoot, like I gotta like like actually turn my arms over. But it was really challenging and yeah, it was fun too, just to try and like touch on those little faster paces and stuff. But yeah.
No, 100%. And it's a good written set. Like I wouldn't change anything. And depending on, even if you're doing an Ironman, like there's some steady swimming, there's a little bit of mix, there's some pull, there's some descent, there's some speed, and then you go away from the speed, and then you come back to it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Nate wasn't feeling super hot on the hundreds fast from the blocks. Well, yeah, he's like 4,500 yards into the set. Like, you're not going to feel good. But if you can mentally get through it and put in a good effort and you swim decently fast in 100, you're like, oh, okay, I'm fit, I'm strong, I have good strength endurance. Like I just executed this set as well as I could. And that's what it's about. It's about showing up and executing, giving the effort based on how you're feeling, and then stacking days on top of each other and not trying to, set his. Oh, he's like, oh, I went 52 last week when I was rested and from the
Mm-hmm.
blocks, and now today I went 56. It's like, that's fine. That's normal.
Yeah.
You can have 5 second swings in hundreds like day to day, and that's not that uncommon. So if you ever get discouraged based on your paces, like, oh, well, 2 days ago I did this pace on this aerobic set, and today I'm going slower. That's okay. Just keep showing up, and you'll be okay. And then yeah, warm down 200 at the end. Maybe you needed 2 to 300 to
Yeah. Probably could have been a little more, but
flush out a little bit, but
yeah.
yeah, overall a really solid 5K set.
Yeah. And I always say, this is like a quote that I heard a little while ago from one of my old coaches. You never rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. And if like this set is really cool for me because on those like more chill 100s, I'm like, man, if I'm just like swimming chill and like my baseline is like 103 per 100, I'm like, that's not amazing, but it's not that slow either. So it's like if on my worst day, if like I ever feel like I'm having a terrible race or I'm like doing a 70.3 and I'm just not feeling it, I'm like, I'm probably still swimming like 103 or like close to that. Like not necessarily like in open water, but like mentally, that feeling. It's like, um, yeah. So that gave me a lot of confidence, like coming out of the set. And like 29s for 50s, that's not fast. I mean, like there's people who in college who swim like 18 seconds, or like 19 seconds these days. So it's like that's 10 seconds slower for a 50. So
No, 17,
dude, yeah, 17 seconds, like some of these NCAA guys. And yeah, so 29 isn't fast, but like some of the workouts I've been most proud of, there's no magic. There's no like PBs. There's no like, oh, this is like, I'm going to be a world champion or anything. It's just like quality work and it makes me happy. So yeah.
Yeah, and that it's like a good, if you're a pro triathlete out there, like accumulating time at around that speed, like 1 minute per 100 or short course, that's like a good target to try to accumulate some time at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can sprint and you can only sprint all out in a race and you can only go 58, you have to get that up higher, faster before you can do that, right? Or even if you're an age grouper, like you say, you swim 30 minutes in a 70.3, it's like if you can only sprint a 102, you have to get down to 57 before you can swim a 26 or a 27 in those races. So I like this set. It's like just a mix of kind of a lot of different things, but like is strategic in that sense. And I like that quote by what was the exact quote you just said
So
again?
the quote is, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training.
Yeah, I really like that. And it's so true. It's like, it's kind of those days where you don't feel amazing or whatever. And it's like, those are the days that kind of make the most impact. Everyone can push hard when they feel amazing and they're having a great day, but it's like all those little days, like what's your floor of your training? Like if you've always just shown up and been consistent, like that's what's going to show up in the tough moments in a race. And especially if you race a 70.3 or an Ironman, like you can't fake that fitness to do races like that, but it's also like a mental grind, right? And you're going to have mental low points, so you can fall back on the consistency of your training and think about that quote. And you're like, I trained for this. I can keep going. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great set.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I'm glad I didn't get roasted for that set. I was a little unsure of what Greg would say, but yeah, no, this is a fun set, especially if you're doing like a sprint triathlon. And like if you're an age group athlete and you don't have a ton of time to swim 5K, you could always like shorten that warm up. Like you don't necessarily
skip the pole.
Yeah,
skip the 200s pole.
Yeah,
but really though, you could skip that.
Yeah, you could definitely skip the pole. Keep the preset though. I think the preset's really good.
Preset's good.
And yeah, the pole was just like, I felt like I needed a little bit longer to warm up. Just because I know myself. I've been doing some sets where I like start the main set and I'm like swimming like kind of slow for me, but then like a couple minutes into it, I'm like swimming fast. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, and you don't always have the time crunch. So like Nate says, if you only have a 500 to warm up and you're pressed for time, then you got to get into the main set. Just don't put too much mental energy in the first quarter of the main set. Like just know it's probably going to take you a little bit of time to warm up. Then you can kind of work into it. When I write stuff for people, I always say, hey, take a couple to work into it to find your rhythm. So if we don't have the luxury of being a pro triathlete and like having, I can go to the pool, I can spend 90 minutes here and go get a coffee or whatever it is, then you got to be strategic with it, but don't put too much mental energy into that first quarter of the main set because it might take you some time to warm up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to close this out with something I've been thinking about. And man, I've been seeing all these triathletes posting these amazing workouts on YouTube, and you're like, oh, dude, Lionel Sanders doing blah, 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 or Sam Long or Justin Reale or whoever, everyone's posting their workouts, they're posting these hero sessions, and they're like, yeah, my coach says just to do like 350 watts, and then they do like 380, for the workout. They're like, yeah, I guess I'm just feeling like okay today. And all this stuff, you don't need it. These are all just hero workouts. Those are probably not the workouts they're doing every single day of their training session. A lot of people post their best workouts online. So if you're out there training, there's no one session that's going to get you that PB. There's no one magic. Even our sets, like there's no one swim workout that's going to make you a sub 30-minute 70.3 swimmer. Or it's like, do this swim workout and swim 25 minutes for a half Ironman. If there was, we would tell you, but there isn't, so we don't. So yeah,
that's the secret.
That's the secret.
Secret is there
is no secret workouts, and yeah, it's just like this. It's just quality day after day, and that's how you get better. And that's how you stand on the start line with confidence. That's how you actually get a PB, is you stack some quality. You realize, oh, if I'm having my worst day, I'm swimming still, like, for me, like 103 per 100. And that's a bad day. So it's like, that's how you stack the confidence. And that's how you have a good race. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Listen to more of them. Subscribe to our YouTube, and you're going to get better at swimming. It's inevitable.
Cheers.